Hello everyone and welcome to another Rise of Kingdoms video. This is Dragothian here, and today we've got a new epic commander. So a new epic commander is what everybody's been asking for. I don't think this is the end of the release of epic commanders. I think this is a little bit of a stopgap. Just my impression, my take on it. Doesn't make sense just to release one epic commander whenever there's been about, 12 legendary commanders before it, in between the last set of epic commanders, maybe even more. So definitely looking for Civilizations to come out with some more epic commanders too, but this is a good stopgap, something to talk about, and it's definitely a worthwhile commander. We're going to get into this video with what this commander is going to do for you, and then just as importantly, how to get it. I think I've found where you're supposed to get it at in the description of the commander. We're going to go over there really quick after we go through the skills, and we're going to go through the talents as well, and then we're going to go see if we can find where to actually get her from. So first off, this is Keira. You should recognize her from Soroli Crisis, think all those different game modes. She should be very familiar to you as far as her avatar and things like that. Now, the skills. I looked through the skills briefly before I started this video because I got so excited when I saw that there was, in fact, a new epic commander that I wanted to make a video on it for you. But this is an interesting commander, and one that is, I think, kind of a, we've talked about on this channel multiple different generations of legendary commanders. I kind of think Keira is going to be a second-gen epic commander. I mean, she's going to be usable not only in PvE, but in PvP, and I will go into that as we go through the skills. So let's do that really quick. Let's get this show started off with a bang. Dance of the Flame Tongue. Rage requirement 1000. That's always the first thing I look for, especially since Genghis and Edward came out. You got to pay attention to that red text and that red number to make sure that it's not some outrageous rage requirement, or if this skill is even better because that rage requirement is a lot less than 1000. But this one is 1000. Deals damage up to 3 enemies in a forward-facing fan shape. Very similar to Sun Tzu here. Damage factor 1000. Now this is very similar to Baybars as far as the fan shape and the damage. Now, the difference here, and one that has me a little concerned, is it says damage dealt to all targets will be decreased by 15% for each additional enemy. That is a legendary skill thing. So if you go up real quick, and I know you want to go through all the skills with me, but bear with me because you need to know this stuff. Mehmed, for instance, right? When you go to his first skill, it also says damage dealt to each target will be reduced by 15% for each additional target. If you go to Baybars, that's not here. So one of two things is happening. They have deemed this epic almost legendary quality, which that's going to be debatable. We're going to go through it. Or they've made that description applicable to all AoE commanders, and they just haven't updated the text. So I'm going to actually go in after we do this video. I'm going to go in and try and see if I can validate Baybars and Sun Tzu, for instance, being two of the ones that make the most sense to test out. See if they have a 15% damage reduction for each target hit, because that's not listed here, whereas with Keira, it is listed. So I don't know if this means that all epic commanders are like that, or if they haven't updated it, or it's not accurate, and this one is specifically the only epic commander that's got this 15% debuff per additional enemy on the damage, which again makes sense for legendary commanders. For epics, you need every little bit you can get. It's kind of a big deal. So something to keep in mind. This is a very powerful skill, and it does get enhanced with the expertise, but just keep that in mind as we go along, okay? So second skill is a peacekeeping skill. It looks very similar to Double C's peacekeeping skill. It's got a leaf with a little slice through it. This two of these skills actually are going to be good skills against targets, but then they're enhanced in either Soroli Crisis or Ian's Ballads. Again, those are the two game modes that allow you to do these higher tier raid style bosses kind of thing, where you can go in and get some really sweet rewards, and they're wholly different than what you're going to find in the open field. These are specific events. So this is a very specific event commander. But bonus damage to barbarians, it maxes out at 35% once the skill is maxed. That's good for open field, anywhere, neutral units, all that good stuff. But then on top of that, it looks like it enhances an additional 35% while in combat during Soroli Crisis and Ian's Ballads. So you're looking at a total of 70%. That's huge. 70% barbarian damage, bonus damage, during these two events is very, very substantial and definitely a good skill to have. Certainly this is one of those commanders you definitely want to unlock one at a time to get, but to be honest with you, most of you should have about 1 billion epic sculptures saved up to go ahead and unlock her at your wish and expertise her. So third skill, Soroli Sharpshooter, increases the attack and defense of archer attack by 10%. So very similar to Kusunoki. He's got something very similar to this skill. It's just the Soroli Sharpshooter version of it. For Keira, same exact effects, 10% attacks, 10% defense. So that's really what you're going to get out of that skill, which is good. The Mutineer, this one's very, very interesting. And this one kind of takes Keira out of the fully PvE mode and makes her very usable in PvP. So normal attacks on a target have a 10% chance to increase their skill damage taken by 30%, up to 80% for 3 seconds. It's a luck of the draw skill. But when you're swarming a target, like say in Soroli Crisis or Ian's Ballads, it doesn't matter, especially if you've got a bunch of Kiras, because this is always going to be on. And then again, just to read the second part of the skill, while in battle during those two modes, target's increased skill damage taken is increased to a total of 150%. That's huge. But again, the first part is PvP friendly. It doesn't say when attacking barbarians. It says normal attacks on the target. That means that could be a barbarian or that could be a person. So to me, 80%, that's huge. I want to test this out so bad. I can taste it, especially with these 5 Cav Army groups running around, these new Archer commanders running around. Oh my goodness, this is going to be insane. So I think this brings Keira into, and she's watching you, by the way, this brings Keira into a different level of epic commander, because not only is she looking like a must-have for Soroli Crisis and Ian's Ballads, and really just in general barbarian killing and all that good stuff, but this looks to be a very solid support PvP commander. Maybe not the commander that your top tier frontline T5 are going to have in a battle, but maybe like a Joan kind of thing where you want to have a bunch of Joans up front popping that buff. Same thing here. You want a bunch of Kiras popping this skill damage debuff on targets, especially tanky targets. Those tanky targets will go down like that. It's going to melt. It's going to melt like crazy. All right, so last skill, this is the expertise. And again, very, very nice skill, a little addition to the primary skill here. We talked about Dance of the Flame Tongue. It is enhanced by Undying Flames. So it's the exact same skill for the first 2 lines here, and that says to enemies that are damaged by this skill, you deal continuous damage. Now it says damage factor and not additional damage factor. This is very similar to Ramsey's description, continuous damage, to them for 2 seconds at a damage factor of 200. So technically, again, once you have her expertise, which again, most of you that have been playing the game for more than a week should be able to do this, 1,400 damage factor, and that's not a percentage chance like, say, Minamoto. This is a guaranteed 1,400 damage factor over the course of 2 seconds. So this is a solid epic cavalry commander, or epic archer commander, peacekeeping, and again, pairing up with, say, a Kusunoki would be a very solid pairing for this, not only because of Kira's stuff that we just went over, but because of the synergy between Kusunoki, YSG, all those good things. You can pair her up with Sun Tzu, with Baybars. Any AoE commander will work really well with Keira. Now let's go through the Archer, Peacekeeping, and Skill. So there is no other commander that has that 3 combination. You've got Archer Skill commanders. You've got Archer Peacekeeping, and that would be... Actually, I take that back. Where's Markswoman? Markswoman's got it. That's the only one. Don't correct me in the comments below. I caught myself, okay? Calm down. All right, so this is my... this needs to be redone. Usually with peacekeeping, again, this is going to be heavy into this area here. So this whole tree here will be taken for the extra loot that you get from killing barbarians, the reduced or the increased experience that you get, and also the reduced action point cost. And then this one gives you a nice march speed bonus. So I always go down this line, and then I would unlock Rejuvenate, unlock Clarity, and then try and get into some of these rage generation skills. If I can make it to Venomous Sting, I'm not sure if I can. This is not level 60 yet, so I'm not sure if I could test that out. I'll have to make a build. But I will do that. But that's kind of the way you want to build it. Now, if you're going PvP, forget about the peacekeeping tree. You're going to want to basically mimic my YSG or my El Cid builds or my Kusunoki builds, and you're just going to want to go to Venomous Sting. You're going to want to take Rejuvenate, Clarity, and I would even venture to say Feral Nature. If you want to forego a little bit of Rage Regeneration to get some more extra points over here, you can do that. You think you can get the Phoenix Tail Arrows and Venomous Sting and Rejuvenate and Clarity? I want to say you can. You might have to forgo some of the extra Archer attack stuff over here and the Rage Gen here, but I think you can get both of those with these. I haven't really tested it out just because I love Feral Nature so much, especially with all the Rage Regeneration that it does. Now, let's jump into where I think we can get her. Let's go back to Keira. I think I've read it. I think I've read it correctly. So I was just kind of perusing through, the text, right? And I noticed on the second paragraph, it says, Keira could have never imagined that wandering aimlessly in the Sunset Canyon on a seemingly ordinary weekend would change her life forever. I'm wondering if that's where you get her. If you need to win, be top 100 of Sunset Canyon or something to that effect. I mean, this is a pretty special epic, guys. That's, there's going to be, 500 million players, 500 million power players using Keira especially during Ceroli Crisis and Ian's Ballad, and maybe even again on the field if they don't have the support that they should have behind them using Keira. So, I mean, this is a pretty interesting epic. It's not your average, just, run-of-the-mill epic. So, that's kind of what I've gleaned from this. I mean, there was no message. I double-checked again the patch notes just to see if they popped it in there on the last second. Couldn't find it. This just kind of gives a brief description of the Red Chameleon piece of her history. But, again, this is the only thing I could find. Keira could never have imagined that wandering aimlessly in the Sunset Canyon on a seemingly ordinary weekend would change her life forever. I think that's maybe where you get her. The other thing that made sense to me, obviously because she is a Ceroli Crisis character, is that she may be a reward in Ceroli Crisis or Ian's Ballad would be my other suggestion as well. So if she goes to one of those game modes, you just need to complete those missions in those events, and you will be able to unlock her. And then again, with how many people have, let me see if I can find it. Sorry, where are they at? Are they all the way down here? Yeah, 4,000. How many of you have 4,000 of these just sitting around? I mean, I know most of you do. And again, for those of you that don't, this is a solid commander to go after. Go after this commander before probably half of the other epic commanders. She's that good. So I like her for PvP and PvE. She's got utility. I love utility. I love having commanders that can be used in multiple different ways. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. Again, this is a new epic commander, guys. We've been asking for this for, a year? We've been asking for more epic commanders for a year. We finally got one. And again, I don't think this is going to be the end. I think there are going to be more epic commanders coming along with some more civilizations. I just don't know when that is. I wish it was yesterday, but it's not. It's definitely not today because I checked. Hopefully it's tomorrow. That's all I can say. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you guys kind of understood the breakdown and enjoyed that too. This is kind of what I've thought of. I mean, again, this is all very open to interpretation. I think that those two game modes are the best options to get Keira, in my opinion, other than it just being a generic 7-day event kind of thing, like with Ashita and Syndiak. Either way. However you can get her. She's going to be good. You can max her instantly with all the epic sculptures that you've got, and she'll be good. So start saving up those XP books, start running those barbarian forts, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers. Have a good one. and take care.